Hiring the wrong support role first can waste 6 months of payroll and leave you as burnt out as you were before you even hired anybody. So trust me, learn from my mistake, and let's settle it today. An ISA versus a transaction coordinator versus an assistant. And exactly which one a $5 million plus agent should hire first. Here's the thing, you know you need help. But help isn't one job. It's basically 3 totally different jobs. And most agents will just hire whoever their friend hired instead of actually looking at their own bottleneck in their business. And so they end up with an assistant when they actually needed a TC, or an ISA when they actually needed was somebody chasing down contract deadlines and making sure the transaction was flowing forward and client communication was taken care of. Here's what I did. My first hire was a transaction coordinator. Was it the right call? Absolutely. Taking away the process of the client communication with escrow, communication with the lender, communication with inspectors saved me so much time to be able to focus on getting more deals. Transaction coordinator is absolutely the first hire or second hire if you go for the assistant route first. But here's what we're going to go into. An inside sales agent or an ISA's whole job is turning leads into appointments, right? So calling them, texting them, qualifying them all day, they are setting appointments for you. And if you have the problem where you're like, I have so many leads coming in and nobody's calling them fast enough, then an ISA is going to be your answer. If you're dropping leads because they're not getting called and appointments aren't getting set, an ISA will be a huge help to your business. And if you don't have enough leads to begin with, then the ISA isn't going to fix it for you. That doesn't make sense. What a transaction coordinator actually does, a TC handles your whole contract to close. Your deadlines, your paperwork, coordinating with lenders and title. If you're the one chasing down signatures and tracking inspection deadlines at 9 p.m. on a Friday, your bottleneck isn't leads, it's operations. Get yourself a TC. You should not be wasting your time on this. It's a couple $100 per transaction, and they will take all of that steps off your plate, and it will be 1,000% worth your investment. The third hire, what an assistant actually does. So a real assistant is going to handle your general day-to-day, scheduling errands, marketing, coordinating, posting, keeping your database from turning into a mess, and making sure that all of your leads are getting added in. This is the broadest role. And it's often the easiest first hire if you're drowning in a little bit in all the, measly tasks or things that, you'd rather be spending your time talking to clients and converting big, income producing activities than going and grabbing your mail. Your job is to find your real bottleneck. My business is different than your business. Your business is different than the other agents at your brokerage's business. So you need to focus for 1 week at least and track everything that you do in 30-minute chunks. At the end of that week, everything that isn't a $200 an hour task, meaning not lead conversion, negotiating, anything that's not $200 an hour task, any of that needs to be taken care of by somebody else. So whatever those categories are of those 30-minute, increments of your day, of your week, whatever that is, you need to hire out that category. If it's a transaction coordinator, if it's an assistant, if it's an ISA, that's your answer. That's who you hire first. And we've all heard the saying, hire slow, fire fast. Nobody cares how charming somebody is in the interview if they're not producing the result that you need. So take your time vetting, checking references, give them a real test, like a task before you even hire them. But once they're in the role, and if it's clearly not working after giving them a fair shot, maybe 1, 2, 3 times, don't drag it out for months. Fire fast, move on, find your new hire, and find your person, because it costs you a lot more the longer you wait. Comment below which one you think that you need, and then I'm excited to see what you actually find out you need after tracking your week of your activities and who you end up hiring. And if you're thinking, I can't afford any of these yet, you don't have to go full-time right away. You don't need to, fund someone's entire salary. Start with a part-time position. Start with a virtual assistant. You can start with a 10-hour a week, role. You know, a transaction coordinator is just going to be working your transaction from start to finish, and typically they get paid at closing anyways. So have it just be part that comes out of your commission when you close. Or a part-time ISA that can set appointments on all the leads that you're missing. That return is going to be significant. If your conversion rate's great from appointment set to a contract, that's well worth the investment to take this on. So the wrong hire will waste you months and money that you didn't need to spend if you don't pick the right hire first. You know, if it's a transaction coordinator, I say a virtual assistant, or, you know, a personal assistant, figure that out. Figure out what's going to be the best return for your business and what you actually need. If you need help figuring this out, DM me on Instagram at PK Residential and we'll get this figured out.